Welcome everybody. Thank you for being here and being so many, I would say. We have a full room today. For those who don't know me, my name is Enrico Vannucci. I am one of the two co-directors here at Torino Short Film Market. I'm the artistic director, precisely. I'm very happy that you are here today because this is a keynote that I've been thinking of for 3 years, I guess. Even before. Before I became the director, I really wanted to do this, and finally we managed. And in COVID times, it's even greater to have it, to manage to have done it. It's a keynote that we do in collaboration with a media desk here in Torino, Creative Europe Media Desk, and Cinecittà as well. It's a collaboration we've been doing since 2018, I think, right? Yeah. So now it's pretty long, and so I really want to thank Silvia for the work, and of course Sara and Francesca as well, because they were very helpful with the organization of this event. This event is also organized together with Agi Kurzfilm, with Jana Cernik. Thank you, Jana. It's been marvelous working with you. And actually, this is the first part of, hopefully, a trilogy of meetings that we are gonna work with Agi Kurzfilm. The first one is here in Torino this year. The second one is hopefully at Berlinale next year. Fingers crossed, due to COVID, but yeah, we plan to do that. Because many of you maybe don't know, but Italy is gonna be the country in focus of Berlinale, and so together with our partners at Anica and at the Italian Trade Agency, that they organize the Italian stand at Berlinale, we will have a panel as well during the market, the European film market. And then we will be a third panel next year here in Torino, because this is a spoiler, Germany is going to be the country in focus. The main idea behind this trilogy panel is to try to learn from very good practices that Germany has implemented over a few years in order to bring back shorts into more places, having them again on television, having them again in cinemas, and because for those who don't know, Italy had back then shorts before feature films in cinemas. We had until the 90s more or less shorts running on TV, and now everything is gone. And we would like to know from and understand how we can get those back onto those channels. And it's a long process, of course. This is the first step. And so thank you so much for being here. And I'm done with the official welcome. And so, Doris, thank you so much for moderating today. Thank you.
You can hear me now? Yeah, super. So audience development for short films is our topic now. Germany, as Enrico mentioned already, is our best practice country, as it has been adopting successful audience development-related practices for short films over the course of more than 20 years now. In the first part of this session, we want to pick out 4 aspects in 4 10-minute keynote presentations. and provide brief insights in the field of audience development. After the presentations, there is a short break, about 20 minutes or something, we will see. And before the second part starts, we have a short introduction of the new media audience development call by Silvia. And hopefully afterwards, we will have a fruitful discussion with all of you. So we really want to start this discussion today. And as Enrico already mentioned, this is just a kickstart event today, and others will follow in Berlinale and some other events. I want to now introduce the keynote speakers here on my right side. The first presentation is by Katrin, but I will tell about her a bit later. The second presentation is by Annika Schütz, who's here. She deals with the German Short Film Festival landscape, especially with the activities of the Filmfest Dresden. The third keynote is from Shtina Bangla from Kurzfilmverleih Hamburg. The fourth keynote is from Jana, on my right side, from the AG Kurzfilm, German Short Film Association. She will give us some insights in a case study about the Short Film Day in Germany. But we start now with Katrin Colas, here on the right side. She's from Arte Channel. She studied science of literature and theater. She worked for Arte in 1995 already in Paris in the featured department. And since 2007, she's responsible for short and mid-length films at ZDF Arte. And she's responsible for the famous magazine Kurzschluss. So please give a warm welcome to Katrin.
Translate, but it's so this is a public television which is central. You know, Germany is a federal state, so you have Bundesländer, Länder, and the ARD is really within Germany. They have stations all over Germany. You can begin on the north with NDR and finish in the south of Germany at the Again? Ouais? Shall I begin again? No, eh? No. No. Who say no? Come here. I begin again only for you. No. So I was in the north, I was in the south of Germany. The Bayerischer Rundfunk in the south of Germany has come on. Bon, bref. You confuse me with the micro, They have what we call a Kurzfilmnacht. You must also know that the shorts are mainly a little bit disappearing at the end of the night. That's why they call them night of shorts, or to say after midnight it's a time for short. Oh, no, it's I hear myself even speaking. So you have at the BR you have I've noticed 10 short film nights per year, which is mainly, it's dedicated to the German short films, mainly done in the German film schools down there, okay? But German film schools also accept European students. Alors, ensuite, when we go a little bit up, you have SWR. SWR is a channel, Südwestrundfunk, so it's a Baden-Baden, it's the middle of Germany, à peu près. They also have nights, kurz und gut, and nights after midnight. Everything is after midnight. And SWR, they're producing quite a lot. They co-produce. It's the only channel really co-producing shorts. Many German shorts, of course. They work very intensively with Académie Ludwigsburg and La Fémis in Paris, so they do co-produce a lot. And the films that are co-produced by SWR are mainly shown on Arte. We have, I'll explain the development. Arte is also a complex thing, but I'll explain it later. So you have SWR, and we go a little bit up. No, we go on the east. Excuse me, I forgot the east of Germany. I was born, it was still divided. Bref, so you have also the Eastern Germany, you have the MDR, Mitteldeutscher Rundfunk. They all listen to me because I'm French, but I just play the German here. MDR, Mitteldeutscher Rundfunk. They have also some short nights, mainly dedicated to German short films also, and they have a magazine, which is also very important also for you, I guess, which is called Unicato, which is running once a month, every Thursday night, around midnight. And they mainly buy German-speaking shorts, but I think my colleague Katrin Küchler buys also European international shorts, but she doesn't co-produce. Voilà. The colleagues from the WDR, which is in Köln, Cologne, also have short film nights. They mainly work together hand in hand with the film school in Köln, the IFS, and the KHM, Kunst- und Hochschule. Danke. Pardon? Kunsthochschule für Medien Köln. Then, that's all I noticed, I guess. And the KHM, voilà. Donc they have several nights, they are called Kurz und Gut, and it's also around midnight. And they show the films from the students who leave the school, the absolventen, the alumni, ou je sais pas quoi. Voilà, my portrait of the German television. Now we come to the heaven, Arte. So Arte is open to European talents, and we have a magazine which is weekly, which is called Kurzschluss, Court-Circuit, and there again, to come to heaven, you have 3 doors. You have the Arte France door, you have the WDR door in Köln, and you have the CDF Arte door, which is me. And you can knock on these 3 doors to show your films, to propose co-productions, we pre-sale, we buy, and we co-produce on the Arte France side and on the CDF Arte side, but not the VDR. My VDR colleague only buys shorts internationally, but she doesn't co-produce. It's Iris Rothschäfer in Köln. And Arte France, you know her probably, Hélène Vessière, which she is in charge of the Arte France magazine Court-Circuit on the French side. And she has, it's a weekly magazine around midnight, let's say, every Saturday night. I don't want, well, I can't show you the Arte side because it's, we have no, it doesn't really bring something. We have, you know, that Arte is opened up to the European also. So you have Arte Italy, you get some programs in Arte Italy, still not the shorts, but we were trying to also buy shorts for the European platform from Arte, which also means that when we buy a film, we buy all rights for all Europe, which is quite a lot, and it doesn't always, it's not always possible. So, but it's the idea of developing an audience European-wide from Arte on this online platform. This is very new, and we will begin, I guess, next year in 2022. C'est ça? Ouais. To buy shorts also for the European market, if you want. Online. With, I hope, some money which is good enough because otherwise. Bon, bref. Ensuite, what do you need to know about Arte? C'est tout, non? Have you questions already? No, we will do it afterwards. So, so the magazine, we have no length limitation for the short that we buy for Arte, because it can go from 1 minute up to 59. We have a middle length slot after the magazine Court-Circuit, Kurzschluss. So it's a very broad. The possibilities are large. Voilà. We, of course, all the programs we buy are broadcasted on France and on Germany. So when if you work with my colleague Hélène Vessière in Arte France, of course we need German and French rights at the moment for the magazine. And if you work for the German side, of course you sell the German and the French rights. We open to animation, fiction, documentary, hybrid more or less. Documentary, it's a taboo topic a little bit, but we are trying to open it up. I am trying also for next year to open up a special schedule for short documentaries on Arte. But it's still a project. So I think that's what I wanted to tell you. Huh? We can speak about it later. Ça va? Ouais. Merci.
Sure, we will speak about it later. Thank you, Catherine.
Bye-bye.
So now we want to take a closer look to the German festival landscape, and especially the activities of the International Short Film Festival, Filmfest Dresden. I would like to briefly introduce you to the co-director of the festival, Anne Garschütz. She's a festival organizer and programmer. Since 2013, she's part of the International Selection Committee of the festival. She counts responsible also for the coordination of the festival, as well as the Forum Visegrad for shorts, and became festival's co-director 1.5 years ago. This year she became also a member of the Pardi di Domani Selection Committee at Locarno Film Festival. She's also one of the initiators of Talking Shorts, an online platform that focuses on short film criticism. So now Anne will tell us more about the experiences and strategies to attract audiences of the Filmfest Dresden. The film festival did an audience survey in the year 2019, and therefore she can share very concrete data with us today. So please, Anne, it's your turn now.
Hello. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay, this will be interesting because all the things seem to have moved. So anyway, because I chose some pictures. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the festival, or especially about Filmfest Dresden, because of course there are many short film festivals in Germany, and we're just an example of how to we might reach out to our audience, but each festival does, of course, different things to reach out to their respective audiences. I called this, it's all about the audience, which kind of changed, anyway, doesn't matter. Why is it all about the audience? So Filmfest Dresden was founded in 1989, so just before the wall came down, and in the last over 30 years, it's developed into a very good audience festival, and we have actually I think, a really good audience, but what I'm going to talk about is the pre-pandemic situation. So the last couple of years, in terms of audience, are a bit different. So what's really important for us, of course, is to know our audience. Know your audience. So what we do every year or every 2 years is to conduct a survey amongst our audience. Also, I'm going to talk mainly about the general audience, so industry audience is a little bit different because we do different surveys, but I think what's really interesting maybe is to reach out, how do we reach out to our local audience. So usually we have an audience of between 16 and 20,000 people that come to the festival each year. In 2019 we had just over 18,000 people attending and 14,500 coming to the actual cinemas. We also have an open air. That year it probably rained because we only had 3,500 people attending. In good years, when the sun is shining and it's nice weather, it can be up to 10,000 people coming. So it's a public open air in a square. And we also have quite a big kids and youth program, which comes, we just had over 1,700 kids and youth attending the programs. Just that's to the numbers. I have a few more numbers in terms of statistics, because I think it's probably quite interesting to know what is the average age of our audience. So as you can see, the main age, it's not the 20-something people, but between 30 and 45. And I think it's also to do with the development of the festival over the last years. So we keep our young audience from back in the day, and they keep coming. But what we also have to see is how can we reach maybe out to younger audiences now, like students and people in their 20s. So which is also what we try with the Kids and Youth program, which I will come to later. I think it's quite interesting to look at the region. So as you can see, 75% come from Dresden and 13% from the rest of Germany, and we also have around 11% coming from abroad to attend the festival. Again, this is not industry audience, this is just audience. The industry audience, the numbers are a bit different in terms of internationality. Gender, I think, is also quite interesting. So 55% of our audience are female or were female in 2019, and 40% male, and 5% define themselves differently. How does this? I found very surprising. How does the audience know about our festival? Because it's still word of mouth is a big thing, of course. But then the next biggest part is they still find out about the festival mainly about posters, about banners, postcards we hand out before the festival, and not that many people actually go to social media or back in the day before, back in 2019, use social media to actually get to know what we do. If they did use social media, it's mainly Facebook. And we started, I think, Instagram in 2019, so Instagram is very low, and as you can see, our Twitter account is not used at all, apparently. We do have a Twitter account which we only use during the festival, and I think Germany is not a Twitter country. I don't know, I'm not on Twitter, so so we use so Facebook is the main audience, but we have increased our Instagram. Instagram. We've improved our Instagram audience as well in the last couple of years, so I think the numbers now would be different. To reach out to our audience, what do? We have 4 different strands in our program. So the most liked program are the competition programs. So we have an international competition, a national competition, and a regional competition. This is actually also, these are the programs that always reach the highest number of audience. It's quite nice actually, it's usually sold out in the evenings. The films that are not in English language or German language are subtitled in German with German subtitles to make them accessible to most people. Then we have a lot of special programs. We usually have a focus topic each year, like many festivals do. We have tributes, retrospectives, or country focuses, so we want to target different audiences. For example, the retrospective usually focuses on East German short films from the communist days, from the old GDR days with the DEFA. It's a DEFA Stiftung. They conserve these films, so we usually have programs that cater maybe also to an audience that on the one hand wants to look back at what they know from back then, also, or an audience that doesn't know this time and for example wants to get to know more what went on in those days. Then we, as I already mentioned, we have quite a big kids and youth program, which I will get to later. Just for now, it's also programmed and presented by the target groups themselves. So the kids and young people, they put together the programs themselves and present them also themselves on the stage. And what we also have, it's a program called ETC, or Events, Trainings, Connections, which includes all the industry part, but also for general audience film talks, exhibitions, parties, or we have one party. These things where we also want to connect the audience specifically with the filmmakers present. So this is very important for us to create these spaces where filmmakers meet the audience and vice versa to promote the films and show them how great short films are. Also very important for us are the locations, because Dresden is not the biggest city in the world, but it's quite big in terms of how the city is structured. We have a river that goes right through the city and two sides that not always get on very well. So the main venue is located in a very lively district of Dresden, but what we want to achieve is also to reach out to other parts of the city, to get a local audience come to the programs. So we do have venues on the other side of the river, which one cinema, for example, is in an area where the normal audience of that cinema is a bit older, 50 plus usually. So we want to reach out to that audience as well, to show the shorts. As I already mentioned, we have an open air screening in the center of the city, which we created, I think 7 or 8 years ago. Especially, it's free, so you can go to the open air whenever you want. We are very lucky to have like an LED screen, so the films screen there all day from lunchtime until evening. And why we do this is because it's located in the main square, old square of the city center, so it it reaches out to tourists and to people of Dresden alike. And what we want to do is to make them aware of short films. So we show fairly easily accessible films that have a little bit of language in it. Some are German, some are English, some are subtitled. So just to reach out to the audience and show them, look, this is what short film can do, and then we try to kind of, maybe that's our hope at least, to get them also to attend the festival or take part in our short film programs throughout the year. The open air program is part of our official selection, so it's also very current films, and we try to program them also according to the main topic, or we also have family programs on the open air. And when the weather is nice, or when it's not too hot, it's actually a very nice experience, and people usually enjoy it and also like coming to the open air. And it's really nice in the old square, to be honest. So how do we cater to different needs? So we have, disappeared anyway. So we have one big part for us is how do we actually reach out to people that might not usually come to the festival. And what we started a few years ago in 2016 is a project called Kino ohne Barrieren, which means we make films accessible for people with a disability. So we want to be able that people who are wheelchair bound, people that have a hearing impairment or are blind can come and see some of our program. So it's not possible to make it accessible, to make the whole program accessible to everybody, but what we've been doing in the last few years is to make 4 programs from the competition programs, and if we can do it like 1 program from the special program accessible. What does that mean? It means they have to be subtitled with subtitles for the hearing impaired, and they have to have an audio description done so the blind people can actually listen to it with the headphones, and then they have the audio description. It's a very long process, it's very expensive, and you don't actually really see the results because you don't really know who's coming, because I don't recognize a hearing impaired person. So all the programs are accompanied by language interpreters who also, sign language interpreters who are also sign language interpreting the opening and the closing ceremony. And we have, in order to maybe also know what they need, we have created a committee of people with different disabilities to advise us on what we should do. This has also declined a little bit in the last couple of years due to the current situation, but we've still managed to keep this going every year and offer these programs to those people. And what we also like to achieve is to raise awareness. So we don't actually say, look, this is our program for people with a disability, but it's just there. So the sign interpreters are just there, and sometimes you have an introduction at the beginning of the film for the hearing impaired, so people will see this and maybe become aware, oh, a blind person can go to the cinema, because it's actually possible. It's of course a lot of work. It costs, just these 4 to 5 programs cost around 40,000 euros every year, so this is a lot of money we have to always manage to find. And yeah, but it's actually quite interesting, and it's opened us up as well to a different world, and we're really happy that we can do this, and we are now again trying to get this up and running again and get more people back to the cinema who might want to watch short films. So yeah, the other group that we really want to support are the kids and the teenagers. So this is a program called Junges Kuratorium, or Young Curators. So we have actually usually every year we have 5 programs of different age groups, which you can see up there. So our goal is to, on the one hand, educate this peer group, and also get them to come to the cinema and keep them, of course, so they will then come back as visitors in the future. So what we do is they work with a media educator, and before the festival they meet in their groups, they watch a lot of short films, and then they put together the short film programs themselves. Then they have training and presentation, so they do the Q&As with the filmmakers themselves on the stage, they present the programs, and this is actually quite nice for them also to get into this and not just know about film, but also know more about the world, I think, because of course, as you know, short films are always offer a glimpse into different sides of the world. What we also do is we offer early morning screenings for schools and kindergartens, and then they get also pedagogical material, so they can use it later on in lessons and maybe use it throughout the year as well. So this is when we want to reach the kids and the youth. Year-long activities are also very important for the festival. So, of course, the festival takes place one week, usually in April. But then what we do throughout the year is we want to keep our audience, of course, also throughout the year. So one of the biggest things we do is we have open air screenings across Germany. The biggest one is actually in Dresden. I don't know who knows it, but we have these big film nights at the river, so it can host on a good night with good weather up to 4,000 people, which is a really nice experience when you're there. It's a huge screen. You can see it on the bottom left. This is what it looks like. We started before the pandemic a project called Kurzfilm Café, where we go into care homes to show films to older people who can actually not come to the festival or might not even know what short film is. So this is a very special program. We are part of Filmland Sachsen, which is an initiative that brings films into the countryside of Saxony, so which is the region where Dresden is situated. We are part of the Short Film Day, which Jana will talk about later, I think. We have a tour for gender diversity, which is because we have an award for gender diversity, and it tours after the festival as well, together with our partners, also into the countryside, reaching out to maybe a different audience. Then we started again, Kurz vor Film, a couple of years ago with this big thing at the river, where we actually managed to, I think you guys are involved in this as well, right? Show very short films before feature films, meaning that every night before they show the feature film at this huge thing, we could show short film, also making people more aware of short film. And what we also usually do is to work together with a local theater and have a short film screening every 2 months at the theater to combine different audiences. So this is just a few things we do. We also have other corporations, but these are the main things we do throughout the year, or did throughout the year, because how do we get our audience back? So what happened is that in the last couple of years we had to postpone the festival. We consciously decided not to have an online edition, but we postponed it to the summer. The result is that the audience, we had a considerable decline in audience. So what we noticed is they were maybe scared to come to the cinema, or there were too many things going on in summer. You know, everybody postponed to summer. We had to keep distance, of course, between the people. So of course we had a huge drop in audience attendance. What we learned to do, I think, like many other institutions, to do more online activities. So what we did is, for example, we had, during the original festival edition, we had a so-called sofa screening, so we showed a few films online, we organized film talks online, we even had a film quiz online that Sven from Hamburg won as well. It was Insa from Regensburg. So this is, and we did, during the actual event, we had hybrid events, so the industry events, all the panel discussions, the film talks with the filmmakers were hybrid, so we could incorporate all the people that couldn't make it to the festival and also screen it to people who wanted to know more about the films. What we want to do in the future, because this is what we did until now, and hopefully what we will be able to do as of next year or want to do is to get the audience back, to make them, because I think that's actually the biggest challenge, to get them back to cultural events. So we want to create maybe more audience-friendly programs that have more like an event-like characters, to make it more accessible in the sense of come and see what it's like, have a bit more fun with it. We want to cooperate with local initiatives, mainly interested in that have their own audience or target groups that we can reach out to. And we also got some money to invest in digital solutions, so we can keep on going with the hybrid events and maybe broadcast a few things and also stay more alert throughout the year. Yes, that was a lot, and I hope I didn't talk too much, because that was it. If you want to know more, come to our website. So yeah, if you have any questions, we can do that afterwards, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne. So now I want to introduce Shtina Bangla from Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg and invite her to share experiences with the short film presentation in cinemas with us. Shtina has been working at the Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg doing world sales and acquisitions mainly since 2012. Short films online is also her topic. She's also part of the programming team for the Hamburg International Short Film Festival. Now she will speak about the theatrical distribution of short films. So please, Shtina. Oh, okay, we are still waiting.
Hello. Yes. Good. Yes, hi. So I'm Shtina Bangla and I'm working at the Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg. In English that would mean Short Film Agency Hamburg. And it is an organization totally dedicated to short films only. And today I have the honor of talking and telling you about short films in cinemas in Germany. So in fact, the Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg has been the first distributor of short films to cinemas in Germany, and up until today is one out of 2 commercial theatrical distributors in Germany for short films. So let me first briefly introduce to you our organization so that you know who we are. The Kurzfilmagentur is doing very many things for short films, so I will now outline only our 3 main activities. We are hosting the Kurzfilm Festival Hamburg, happening each year in June, as well as the Mo and Friese Young Film Festival, happening at the same time. We are doing world sales for short films, and we are doing theatrical distribution for short films, which is what I will tell you about today. And theatrical distribution in German means Verleih, just to explain to you our nice logo. And let me start with traveling a little bit back in time, how it all started. So when our festival has been running for 6 years, there was a big wish to keep showing the films also after the festival and outside the festival and in the cinemas. And then my colleagues back then, I was 7, so my colleagues back then, they were thinking what to do, and they, in 1992, they traveled to France, to the Agence du contesti. And for 2 days there, they learned how they are doing it in France to bring short films to the cinemas. Yes, yes, yes. France is doing it great. So yeah, we learned from France. And then my colleagues adapted that system, or that idea, to Germany, with the difference though that our Kurzfilmagentur, it's basically the same name, short film agency, Agence du contesti, but we are not a state-run organization, and we distribute international short films and not only national short films. And luckily, back then, they already had 10 cinemas in place willing to work with them, which made the start possible in the first place. So that's how it all started, and today our theatrical distribution has a catalog of about 600 short films. And each year we take about 30 to 50 new short films into our catalog. So then we have the short films, but how to actually bring them into the cinema? And there are, I would say, 4 ways of bringing them to the cinema, and our focus lies on the distribution of short film as a pre-film. So the short film will be shown in the cinema before a feature film. And second of all, we also do short film programs that are then released in cinemas. Then you have the possibility of any screening events, also for example within film festivals. And nowadays there's even a possibility to do online screenings that are hosted by cinemas. And now I will give you, of course, more information on each one of these points, but just to first give you a brief overview. I will wait for the pictures. And I will start with the distribution of short films as a pre-film before a feature film, which is also the focus of our theatrical distribution. And we have about 130 cinemas in Germany that regularly rent short films from us to be then shown as a pre-film. Then what kind of cinemas are these? It's art house cinemas, community cinemas, and student cinemas. So definitely not multiplex cinemas or something. And not every short film is suitable as a pre-film. Of course, it has to be short. The main point is here the length. So anything under 10 minutes we take into our catalog, but better is even under 5 minutes. I mean, the rule is the shorter the better. In the end, it's the time before a feature film, so it's a valuable time, a very short time, especially if you also want to show advertisement in the cinema. And now I will talk a little bit about our business model, because I think that's the clue behind everything, because we offer a yearly subscription for the cinemas. So the cinemas, they book a subscription with us, they pay a yearly fee, and then they can rent 1 film per week to show on 1 screen in their cinema. And the costs vary depending on the size of the cinema. They start from 1,180 euros and they end at 1,830 euros per year. So that's the cost that the cinema has to pay for 1 screen to have 1 short film per week. And they basically can choose any short film from our catalog, just to give you an idea how a catalog looks like. And so they can choose whatever film they want, one a week, but also we give, of course, some suggestions, because they don't know all of our 600 films, we do. So based on the films that are released in Germany at the moment, they can find some short film suggestions or tips from us online, just like you see it here. Now, you might be wondering, why is it working so well in Germany, but maybe not in other countries? And I think one important point here is that over the years, there is a funding system has developed that helps to keep the short films in the cinemas. So nowadays, subscription fee that the cinemas have to pay, they are actually funded by 80%. So the cinema ends up paying only 20% of the subscription fee by themselves. The rest is funded by the FFR. No. And Still, why would the cinema want to show and pay for short films, even 20%, if they can use that time for advertisements and earn money? But so I think there are 2 points. First of all, of course, it adds value to the programming and to the cinema. So if a person wants to see a feature film and can choose between 2 cinemas, it might choose the cinema that gives the person the short film on top for free as well. And furthermore, and maybe more importantly, the art house cinemas can win cinema awards in Germany, and that includes funding as well. And I mean, that comes to the end, the better the programming, the more the funding, and the more short films and also the more short film programs that you show as a cinema, the better chance you have of winning such an award that gives you additional funding. Now, since we talk about audiences today, I cannot do it so well as Anne did because we do this B2C business, but of course we bring the short film to the art house film interested people and we make them watch it, and they don't really have a choice. But that works well. In pre-pandemic times, we reached around approximately 1 million viewers for our short films each year. Now it has changed, but I hope it will return to that eventually. Now, coming to the second point, the short film programs. That we don't do as much as maybe some others, but we have like maximum 1 or 2 programs a year that we release. And for the short film day, we actually do a little bit more. We do 2 to 3 programs more. And at the moment, we have about 25 short film programs that are and have a feature length in total and on offer. So, but it's not that easy to get a short film program into the cinemas because the slots in the cinemas are rare for the programs, and many times these programs are more attractive with a moderation or included in an event, and cinemas can rarely offer that. Also here, it's actually the same as with the pre-film, that the cinemas also get 80% funded of the costs of showing a short film program. They only pay 20%. And talking about audiences, it's also with short film programs a little bit more difficult to get the people into the programs. With a feature film, they somehow have an idea what they get. With short film programs, there's a little bit more of a step to go, and it has to compete with the feature films, and it doesn't just come along as a pre-film with the feature film. So that's what it makes it a bit more complicated. And how we try to do it is we design our programs target group oriented. So we have programs for preschool children, for school children, for teenagers, up until programs for elderly people as well, which works rather well recently. Yes. So far to the programs. Now I will briefly just say the other option that we have. Of course, we rent our short films to any kind of screening events, any non-competitive special screenings at festivals. We are also suggesting sometimes films to festivals if they need a suggestion. Of course, we have the catalog. We offer the catalog as a research tool for curators. And we basically also rent short films to any non-theatrical screenings, so any open-air screenings or screenings in unusual places. You will see the unusual places at the moment. And then nowadays there are online screenings hosted by cinemas. So since the pandemic, we have a platform called Cinema Lovers, and this platform offers each cinema to add an additional virtual screening room to their cinema. And then the films can be booked either by the platform or directly from the cinema by us. And of course, then short films are cheap and easy to get for this way of distribution, but still it's not a lucrative business for us, and we hope that things can go back to pre-film in cinemas very soon. And let's see whether this additional tool, which can actually be very interesting, will survive in post-pandemic times. Then one last thing to say when we talk about audience development, our organization, the Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg, as I said earlier, we are doing many things. So something that you can interpret as sustainable audience development is how we bring short film closer to young people. That's more within Hamburg, but still we do that. So we have the Mo and Friese Young Film Festival, a children's film festival, and festival with youth films it's happening at the same time as our Kurzfilm Festival. And we do the Kurzfilmschule, which means short film school. So we bring filmmakers into school classes, and then they make workshops with the children and produce a short film with them. So it's like very small, but it's happening in Hamburg only. And we are organizing the Schulkinowochen in Hamburg, the school cinema week that just happened last week. And that's rather big scale. So we bring huge amounts of school classes into all the cinemas of Hamburg. And these school classes, they watch both. They watch feature films, but they also, since we are organizing it, they also watch many short film programs. And these short film programs are moderated and discussed afterwards. So this is how we try to get young people willing to watch short films also when they grow up. So far to me, I think more than maybe later in the Q&A. Thank you.
Very close. Okay.
It works now? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much, Stine. Last but not least, we will learn on a special project called the Short Film Day in Germany. It's all the activities around the 21st of December, so it's coming quickly now, the shortest day of the year. Jana Czernik worked for many years at the Kinemathek Hamburg, at the International Film Festival as a freelance journalist and translator, as well as a film editor. She was also organizer and head of the Czech Film Center. Now she's managing director of the AG Kurzfilm, German Short Film Association. Please give a warm welcome to Jana. The presentation is here already, perfect. She's coordinating all the activities around the Short Film Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me and us to present let's say the German, the infrastructure for short films in Germany. As you already heard, we are all in a way cooperating since many years, and I think without this infrastructure, the Short Film Day in Germany wouldn't be possible. I just want to say a little bit about the German Short Film Association. We do promote the German short films nationally and internationally, and we are very much engaged also in the political lobby work for short films, so we try to negotiate better conditions of the short filmmakers on a political level, and our members are not the filmmakers, but organizations, film festivals, distributors, film schools, so we built actually a really good network with organizations that are dealing in a way everybody with short films, and this is crucial for our work, whatever we do. The Short Film Day is an idea, of course, which came from France. Thank you again to Catherine through Arte. Yeah. It was an idea that started in France in 2011. We took it over in 2012, and since then it grew and grew because it became basically a lab for ideas, not only how to promote short films in your own country, not only at festivals but also at other places, and also ideas of how to reach out for audience which is not part of the short film bubble. Because I think this is one of the obstacles, I would say, also for short films. You have festivals. Festivals are very well attended, but basically attended by people who have already an interest in short film, and it's very difficult to get people to festivals or to places where short films are screened with no clue what a short film or short film program actually can be. So We started it in 2012, and the difference actually between the French model and the German model is that we are not offering the films for free, I would say. This is, of course, due to the much, much bigger budget of the Agence du court-métrage that started this in France, which is very good funded by the CNC. And we decided, not also because of the budget, but also because of the fact that lots of people think it's a short film, it doesn't cost anything. And this is of course not true, and that's why we actually started to negotiate with the short film distributors in Germany. This is Kurzfilmagentur Hamburg, but also Interfilm. We have two that are only distributing short films, and we negotiated a special rate for this day. So the short film day is taking place on the 21st of December, the shortest day of the year, which is a great claim thanks to France. Everybody can take part, and everybody can take whatever she wants to show. And for all those who are not sure or familiar, we suggest every year 20 short film programs and also pre-films to them on our website. And these films you can actually book for half of the price, which is normally the price at the distributors. As I said, everybody can take place, and we found out that we need to address all the organizations and institutions that are outside there. What we did, that means that the organizers of the short film day, or not of each event in the frame of the short film day, are coming from cinemas, film clubs, cultural institutions, social cultural associations, city councils, museums, libraries, multi-generational centers, kindergartens, care homes, and also private people. So you can also, when you are sharing a flat, for example, you can book a program and show it in your apartment with other people. The only thing is we need you to register on our website, so we know you are taking part at the short film day, and this is. And you receive from us promotional package of flyers and posters if you want to promote it, which is for free. Here you can see also a very good example of how we managed. It was one of the first years to talk the football stadium in Dresden, to show it in between the parts of the football game and the break. You can see in the middle of the picture there is the screen where they showed short films in the break. This is also, I don't know if this is possible in Italy, but it's also about addressing organizations and talk. Also, it's a lot about talking with them on the phone, not only sending out emails. If they want to take part, and also advising them if they want to have a special program. There are also possibilities to advise. Cinemas became in the short film, during the short film day, also to a place for events, because they some of them invited also musicians to accompany films. So this way of dealing with short film may allow the cinemas also to attract other people that are maybe only interested in film, but also in music. This is something which is organized by a neighborhood, actually. You can see in the back they have mulled wine, and they are actually showing short films, and they are being together. This is an example for, it's actually a shop and a cafe, and they are taking part from the beginning, and if you can't get inside, then you could actually watch through the windows the films and get some drink outside. So it became really an event for them. This is a picture of a Christmas party at the short film agency. And this is also possible. So it was actually basically involving short films in an event. The concept behind is that having an offer of curated short film programs and single short films, the pre-films, demanding a fee to a special rate definitely, and we started also, after a time we found out that short film is nothing people can connect or relate with, so we started to have annual themes which were quite bright in order to attract people, and the distributors again curated the films based on these themes. So there was something which was also reflected in the films. We developed also with what is really important, this target group strategy. So we had programs for all kinds of age groups. We developed a program, and this is something we did it with a group of elderly people who are actually part of, let's say, leisure time activities of different organizations. We showed them a pool of short films, and they, together with us, curated the program. And this was actually selected to be part of the program for this group. And this is very important to get these people involved. And when we started this program for care homes and retirement homes, we were really surprised how good how many of them actually booked the programs. They said, what a great idea, this is exactly what we need. So don't be afraid to think next to your, let's say, how you say, sorry? Yeah, to think outside the box, exactly. This is really important, and this is a perfect way how to do it. The basic thing of it is, of course, the acquisition of contacts of for example, kindergarten, schools, care homes, and to send out in different waves information material for them, how they can book, if could that be interesting for them, what are the benefits for them. This is really interesting and important, and that's why we start really almost a year before to get in touch with the audience. We have also tried in the last 10 years initiatives that didn't work out. I think this is part of it. You have to fail to understand what works. So we had, for example, an initiative which was called the 3 Friends, and it was meant for rural regions. And the concept of it was that you need to be 3 organizers. That means a cinema, an association, or a pub. And as soon as you are 3, you would get from us how you call that, individualized promotional material, so you could promote it. It didn't really work out, but one of our goals is also to be more present, to do more acquisition of organizers in the rural regions. Therefore, we have also implemented the concept of regional coordinators. We have 5 of them in several regions in Germany who are actually very well connected and have a good network, and they are actually just doing the acquisition and the promotion in their area and their region. This is really crucial to that, because we are based in Dresden in Germany, and Germany is a big country, so this was very helpful when we started to do that. We had also a filmmakers contact exchange database, which didn't work either, unfortunately. But what really helped and works, and we are still doing it, is the Creative Award. That means that we are picking up, or we are selecting up to 3 until 5 events that are registered on our website. And these organizers, these events, when they manage to have a very creative approach to that event, they can get the award, which is worth €100. It's a small amount, but some of them need that. So this is a little bit the, one of the initiatives that really work, and we are going to continue, of course, with that. And this year, when we have 10 years of the Short Film Day, we have 10 awards to give. But then, of course, because of Corona, we don't know how that will continue. What we started also in terms of promotion is to, I will first show you an example for a very creative event which won this award, and it was it took place in a fire brigade. They had a program which was dealing with catastrophes, and they were actually checking you at the entrance, and they had a catastrophical catering. So they won actually this award because we found it was really great, and the people were watching it in this garage of this fire brigade. This is something we did. It was like you can see films at unusual places, and we took a phone booth and we built some of them. We recreated them, we rebuilt them, and had 5 of them, and they were actually standing in Dresden, and there was a screen inside with headphones, and you could watch films and hear them in this booth. So it was a little bit a promotional initiative from our side. This is something which is really great because it's organized by a municipal administration. They took a room, put some mattresses on the floor, and invited lots of kids in the past years. I think it's from 2019. And this year they actually had 11 events and canceled then, of course, all of them because it's not going to be possible to do that. This is a picture from a short film screening in a. It's not exactly the care home, but it's actually the initiative that is organizing leisure time activities for them. So they were actually, I think Anne is in the background. This is also something which is great because it's we got as a co-organizer a municipal forest, and every year since the beginning they have a screen and they have a projector, and they are actually walking through this forest and showing short films. And this is an organization that has nothing to do with short films, but we address them, of course, in the frame of looking for co-organizers depending on different topics, and it worked out, and they like it because for them it's also a tool to get their audience through films that are sometimes also connected to forest. At the end, when everybody has registered, then you actually show up at this map of Germany, and this is then the format where everybody who is interested in short film and wants to take part at the screening can zoom in and see what kind of film events are in their area. And this is this is the second part. And when everybody is there and we know who is going to show what, then we promote, of course, this. These are a little bit the numbers, how we developed from, it's in German, but you can see the first one is actually the number of events And it stops in 2019, which was really at almost 400 in whole Germany, which is great because if you think it's not us who is organizing it, but we managed to get almost, I don't know, it was less 200 something organizations, private libraries to stage an event on the 21st. Next to that, you see a little bit how it's divided. So it's a third actually cinemas, a third are, I can't read it without my glasses. I have to. Associations, public organizations, and then, of course, other. So it's like third, and it's not going. I don't think it's going to change in this way how it's divided. This was the last year actually, where you can see that until from 1st of November we had a total lockdown in Germany, so nothing was possible, you couldn't gather, cinemas were closed, and until this moment the registration were the same or a little bit more than the year before. So the interest is still there, and we have really long time organizers, or co-organizers in the frame of the Short Film Day. We, of course, will continue, and we think what kind of plans would we have for the future, and we think of more doing or curating programs with different target groups. We would like to include more the cooperation with migrants, with organizations that are working with migrants and refugees. We think about to include the territories of the Goethe Institute, so outside the country. The securing of the funding is still difficult because it's not automatic. And we, of course, will work this year with the cinema lovers. It's a concept Shtina presented. It's a great thing when cinemas will be closed or restricted in showing films, then we will be able to have the Short Film Day on this platform, which will be displayed on our website, which is the main tool for everybody with all the information. So this is it for the Short Film Day. Thank you very much for listening.
So thank you, Jana. Thank you very much for your attention now. To deepen the insights we've gained so far, we look very much forward to the discussions afterwards in the second part with you and with the Italian colleagues. So yeah, now we will have a 10 minutes break and see you afterwards. Thank you. back again. Before we start with the second part, we will learn now more about the media audience development call. Please give a warm welcome to Silvia Sandrone from the Creative Europe Desk, Italy, Media, Torino.
Thank you, Doris. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this second part of this session. The first part was extremely interesting for me, and thank you to all the panelists. And we heard of really interesting experiences and concrete examples. And some of the festivals that presented their case histories today are also supported by media. And in fact, I mean, they really reflect and represent the priorities of the Creative Europe Media Program, like inclusiveness, diversity, and so congratulations for that. Yeah, I will briefly present you today the new call for audience development and film education that was launched this year. This year, in 2021, we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the media program, which was launched in 1991, supporting all the audiovisual industry. So, as you probably might already know, the Commission has renewed the program for another 7 years. I mean, it was not a revolution, it's most an evolution of the program, of the past program that was so successful. So, in particular, they decided to focus on 3 main aspects, like cooperation at European level, supporting co-productions and networks and partnerships. Actions in all the actions supported by media are part of 3 main clusters, which are content creation, business, and audience. So, of course, support to festivals, for instance, will be in the audience cluster, as well as the call that I'm going to present you today. The audience has always been, I mean, the attention for the audience and all the actions encouraging the enlargement of the public has always been a priority for media since the beginning. So they are trying with new calls to stimulate audience growth on all platforms, and in particular engaging also younger audiences through educational and promotional tools. And also they really aim to ensure access to audiovisual works, also supporting subtitling. I will give you some, very quickly, some aspects of elements of the audience development and film education call, which aims to promote European audiovisual works in general, but also heritage works, and also including film education activities. So it will not be like in the past when we had a specific call for film education. This year we had a call with audience development, including film education activity. It will be the same for the future. So the aim is also to explore innovative methods and way of collaboration. Yeah, let's have a look at what kind of projects can be supported. In particular, the project must be based on a significant proportion, at least 50% of European films and audiovisual works, and should present a pan-European audience reach involving at least 5 countries participating in the media program, in the media strand. In particular, they are looking for innovative projects, especially using new digital tools, Do not forget that media is under the DG Connect of the European Commission, so technology is, and digital tools are always very, very important for them. Yeah, they should promote and increase the contribution that existing European films and audiovisual works in general, including curated catalogs of film, make towards the audience and the education. There is a maximum financial co-financing rate of 70% of the eligible costs, which is not bad. Yeah, I think the project can last between 24 to 36 months. And that is also the reason, because we had a call in 2021, a first call, but the bad news is that we won't have a new call next year, because the projects that have been supported this year will cover 2 years' activities. But maybe the good news is that you have more time to prepare. Yeah, here I pick up the award criteria from the guidelines. I think this is really the most important part. And yeah, as you can see, it's very important the potential of the project to promote, stimulate, and increase audience interest. In particular, also awareness and knowledge of and access of European films, including also heritage film, and towards young audiences always. The European dimension and added value is also another very important aspect of the project, and it is translated in kind of partnerships and level of European cooperation, exchange of knowledge, and also geographic coverage. Yeah, then we have also a special attention that will be given to projects that ensure strategies to make a more sustainable and green industry, and also ensure gender balance, inclusion, and diversity that we have all seen also in, for instance, in the festival that we have seen this morning. Then we have the quality of content and activities. The weight is 40 points, so this is really the most important part. And it includes the format of the project, the methodology, selection process, target group, territories, and also educational and pedagogical methods. Then it's also very important the feasibility of and also cost efficiency of the project, and innovation. So again, the importance for the use of digital technology and new tools. Then we come to dissemination, and this is also a very important part because it's really the impact of the strategy for and of your effort to promote the project, disseminate its results, and in particular in the exchange of best practices. Then we have also the last but not least part of the award criteria is the management, and of course they will take into consideration the role and tasks of all the teams involved. The threshold to be selected is 70 points on 100 points. Yeah, here you have a list of the countries that can be involved and with whom you can build a partnership. So we have all the European Union countries, then we have third countries, and I also divided the low capacity countries in Group A and Group B, as the European Commission recommended, in order to highlight the level playing field. Now I would like to conclude this quick presentation showing you a couple of examples that I picked up from the selected projects in the previous generation, and when there was not a specific call dedicated to education, to audience development, there was a call only for film education, and the audience development was included in one action of the promotion of European works online, and it was the action 3. Yeah, here you can have two examples. That one is platform, European Film Challenge, which is more a cinephile community where young people, film lovers, they can get film review info on European film in general, but also on top A film festivals. And they also include a contest in this platform, and to take part to the contest, the young users need to watch 10 different European films, and for each film they have to upload an image of the film and also the proof that they watched the film, so they can to be considered for winning the prize. They can watch at least 10 films in the period of the contest. Then we have this Collaborate to Innovate, which is more a B2B initiative, which has been launched by Europa Cinema Network, which is funded by media and supports European cinema all over Europe. And the main objective, goal of this initiative, Collaborate to Innovate, is to encourage new collaborations among cinemas, of course, cinemas of the network. They need to be part of the network, and to encourage collaboration to have an impact on building diverse audiences for European cinema. Then we have Groovy, which is a project that was supported in 2018 and from a UK platform. So here the technology part is really big, because it's mainly a database which is one would like to, put in contact and to be a link between distributors, cinemas, VOD platforms, and provide audience data in order to make a fruitful marketing campaign for distributors in particular. Then we have the European Art House Cinema Day. This is an event which takes place once a year. This year it took place on the 14th of November. And here again the protagonists are cinemas that can show heritage film, and there are more than 40 countries usually taking part to the event, with more than 600 cinemas all over Europe. And last, I would like to show you this project. This is a project by the Netherlands, ticketing group that is aiming to provide to provide this platform that they created in the Netherlands, Cultural Ticket, which was supported by media, helping cultural organization to live streaming their for instance, operas, cinemas, operas, films, and cultural content in general. And it could also be a solution for also small organization to, that can be helped with this technology. Yeah, I think already I'm running out of time, so I would stop here. And yeah, of course, this was just a very quick example and to give you a taste of which kind of projects media selected in the past. Media is supporting all the industry in all the sectors, from development of works, training of professional, and also support for distributors and producers. So if you would like to know more of the call for proposals for the future, do not hesitate to contact all the media desk. We have media offices all over Europe. In Italy, we are 3 offices. I work at the media office based in Turin with my colleague Sara Bellinazzi and Francesca Messina. By the way, thank you very much to them for helping in a lot in the organization of the session this morning. And our host organization is Cinecittà. We also have Fabiola Solvi from Cinecittà here today. So if you would like to know more, we are around these days during Torino Short Film Market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Silvia. So take your chance and contact Silvia for any further questions. I'm sure she's happy to answer all of them. Yeah, from the funding opportunities, we now go back to the audience development strategies we were discussing in the first part, and I would like to ask our Italian respondents on stage. It's Flavio Armone from Lights On, it's Simone Bardoni from Concordo Film Festival, and it's Alessandro Giorgio from Centro del Corto Italian Short Film Center. Please give them a warm welcome. I would also like to invite you to join us in the discussion. So please raise your hands if you have any questions, if you want to say something to the German speakers. They are in the first row now, so they changed the position here. But it's meant to be a discussion among all of us, so please just raise your hands and the microphone will come to your place. If it takes a second, please wait a moment, because we are filming this whole discussion here. Is there already a question or a comment from you? Okay, so I will start. Simone, maybe with you, the first question. Sorry, the microphone has to, yeah. Can you maybe see any similarities of the implemented audience development strategy for short film of Filmfest Dresden? Is there any differences with what you do at Concordo Film Festival? So maybe you want to say something about your impressions from the first part.
Okay, thank you, Doris. Yes, I'm a bit impressed because, well, from Italy to see this kind of strategies and this kind of presentation, this kind of festival is like to have a different championship. I mean, because it's like short films in Italy is like something very hard to do to finding an audience about short films in general, because well, almost all the short film festivals in Italy are not from big cities. And this is one of the reasons, because little town, little cities are a different kind of audience. Not so much, but you need to work a lot about this kind of audience, because people in Italy are not frequency with normally going to the cinema with subtitles is like something crazy. I would say in Italy, but it's normal in Italy. People don't work with subtitles. Don't want. In the same time, we are working in the similar project. I was impressed about all the number of the cinemas, because when I talk about a little town, I mean something that you don't have a lot of cinemas, you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of budget about to do the things, and in the same time I want to work as a normal festival. I mean a normal budget festival and a normal more bigger festival. And in particular, I mean about, well, I totally agree with the Dresden approach with Hen, because this year we started about this project about deaf people and also for people with disabilities. And Concorto is from this year one of the first, I think, festival in Italy with fully accessible for disabilities and also for deaf people. And this is so important because every time we talk about equality and many things, totally right, totally well, positive things, but in the same time the disabilities part are not one of the main, more important things for many events, for many festivals, for many people, because people don't think about this kind of other audience, other totally different audience. And we started this project this year with a very low budget about this, but we also want to do the blind explanation about the description of the film, but I know it's very expensive. But in the same time, this year, all films were screened with subtitles in English and Italian, and also for deaf people. And we have also sign language interpreting for everything in the festival, also for the talk, also for the Q&A, also for everything, and also for the I mean, also about the reception of the deaf audience and in the entry of the festival. Here we had this mask without, with like a transparent mask to see the mouth for the speaking to the deaf people. And we did also talk about this. And well, this kind of audience is a totally different audience, because you need to work a lot to find this kind of people, because they can trust you, they can come to your festival if you do something very professional. Because if you do something like just well, a little start, a little to do something a little is not enough, because this kind of audience, well, they are well, they need something so professional. And this, in the same time, we did a talk about disability in general, because well, this project is also with several associations of people with disabilities, like Italian National Agency of Deaf, and also with the University of Bologna about the subtitles, the working of subtitles. And we want to continue to work about this in the future. I mean, because I think it's for all the festival, it's important to start things like this for the future, because we can't imagine a festival without well, a part of audience totally not included. And I think it's important. Maybe, well, I hope to continue and to growing up in this kind of approach. And I am so jealous about Dresden, yeah, but we are working on...
So why are you jealous?
I'm jealous, yes, about well, this huge approach with this kind of stuff. I mean, yes, I'm jealous, but well, we are working on, yeah.
Thank you, Simone. Anne, maybe you want to say something?
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm a bit flattered that you're jealous. I know it's because I always feel that because we just can do a very small portion of the program, and only make a very small portion of the program accessible to people with a disability. And it's a lot of work actually, so we have a special coordinator as well to deal with it. So I actually feel we don't do enough yet, and I would like to do more, but then it's a big money issue. So actually, yeah, I think we could do a lot more for the people. So we're not perfect at all, and we're really learning every year. We're learning, and how also it's very difficult to reach the target group. Like in Dresden, the people with a hearing impairment, they're very active, so they come a lot. But the blind people, it's a lot of work, and you should also not be discouraged if they don't come. So sometimes we have screenings with the interpreters and everything, and there's no people with a hearing impairment there. But then for them, they also say it's the visibility. You know, it's all about visibility and make it more visible. And maybe just by doing it every year and just doing small things, I think is very important to make it also visible to the audience, to local funders or whatever, that those people also want to go to the cinema and see and watch films. And I mean, short film already is a niche product, so to get them interested in short film as well and show them, look, we care for you, we want to get you involved. And the thing is, it would actually be nice to do this more on a cooperation level, on a European-wide level, I think, but then we have the language issue, because of course you can't have English subtitles for the hearing impaired, because they already have issues with their own language, reading. I mean, that's a big issue, because people with hearing impairment, many of them can't read very fast, so you really have to take a lot of things into consideration. But all I can say is keep going. And it's also good, we should exchange, I think, we should exchange ideas and how we can work maybe also together on certain things, if that answers any question.
Thank you. Exchanging ideas, yes, that's what it is about. Maybe I want to ask Alessandro, so what can you take from these presentations, from the first part? What would you say, where is the audience development of short film already developed in Italy, or more developed or less developed, or where are perhaps some gaps still, and what's the next step for you?
Also, this one. Short Film Center, born as an archive in 2007, and obviously everything changed from there to now. We also organize a Short Film Day, and we mainly about Short Film Day we work with theaters. We work with some theaters that have that kind of audience that go in this place no matter what they show. So, I mean, cinema of the say, this kind of realities. But what was really inspiring about what we hear before, what we really can take from there, it's I think what we can do as a system, and what we are missing is we do not work enough together. I mean, in Italy, the short film world reality changed so much in the last 7-8 years. Now we have a lot of distribution, we have a little bit more production, but we do not have we have festivals, different festivals. We have industry events, not only Torino Short Film Markets. There is a community, there is a system, but of all people that know each other but do not work together as a system. I think that this is our biggest challenge. We, as a Italian Short Film Center, we can. I mean, we cannot do this alone. We can do this without all the people involved. But it is important also to work together to show to the institution that we exist, basically, because this is what we're talking about. All the system of movies and audiovisual in Italy, on national level, do not consider short film like culture, like business, like they have no idea of what that is a world that exists, that is much bigger than they think. And we know that short film can be used, for example, we use a lot of from educational, for any kind of purpose. We have to work together with distributor, producer, festival, theaters, to have a kind of, I don't know, a federation, something like that, to have an association or something like happened in Germany. I mean, there's a lot of things that I heard from Germany that I would like to do here in Italy or would like to take, but I know that we do not have, maybe the money, maybe the structure to do something, but a lot of other things we can do it. And this is, I think, the most important, urgent thing to do now is to try to federate all the people that are involved in short film, and also to have a representation in the table of audiovisual in Italy as a community. This is my biggest
Maybe there is a comment you wanted. There was a loud applause here in the back. Maybe someone wants to add something. Just a second, the microphone is coming to you.
Okay, sorry. No, I was just saying that I totally agree with Alessandro that we have to work together and to make a short movie more important as a cultural important thing, and not only as a step to go to feature films. Here in Italy, we don't have the culture of short movies, but we are a big community. We have to work together to make everybody understand this. And so I totally agree with Alessandro, and sorry for for my...
Thank you. So we are waiting for the next microphone, but Flavio, maybe you want to add something. What have you learned from the keynote presentations? You want to say something? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Flavio Arbone from Lightson. Lightson is an international sales agent. Actually, we are based in Torino, so this is our city. And thanks to the panelists. It was quite impressive from my point of view. From my point of view as an Italian citizen, then with my company I work mostly worldwide. So Italy is just a part of my job, and all the things they do are all the initiative, all this beside program they organize during the festival are great or amazing, and I guess all of them implies a lot of creativity, of course. There is also a lot of marketing knowledge, maybe, to go and find the audience, to target maybe young audience. So there is also some marketing elements, in my opinion. And of course, there are also a matter related to the money, to the funding, because you can have a great idea, you can have but creativity comes from people, and you have to pay people, and marketing knowledge comes from people, and you have to pay people. So I'm wondering how much is their budget, for example, compared to Italian festivals. Maybe then in Italy there are too many festivals, maybe, and they are mostly funded by Italian government, I guess. Maybe so maybe the money at the beginning is not so much, and then it's maybe divided to too much festival. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I'm not so an expert, but I was curious to know if they can tell us, or approximately, not the exact amount maybe, but their budget compared to an Italian festival maybe is much higher, I guess, because it's, of course, it's sad to say that everything it's related to the money, but somehow you have to face this problem, and I don't think that in Italy there is so much consideration in cinema in general, but in a short movie especially. In Italy, I'm talking about institution, okay? And so maybe this is one of the reasons why there is so much difference between Italy, Germany, not to mention France, which is another world. And so maybe this can be a problem, And then, of course, short movies is a niche in Italy, like it is in Germany, like it is in France, or less, like it is in Netherlands, like it is in USA. It's a niche. And to create, I guess, my opinion is to create an audience for short movie, you need to create a need for short movie. And to create a need, you need money to create a need, because, again, it comes back to the money you can invest in marketing to create this need. I guess that 20 years ago, TV series, for example, was not so famous like today. I was looking at TV series also 20 years ago, but when, for example, Netflix came, they became popular. Now you have lab for TV series. In the festivals, there are a section about TV series. Why? Because the Netflix create a need, everybody watch TV series, so also the industry is now interested in TV series. And it's kind of creating, they are kind of becoming, another genre of movies, art house, and now there are also TV series. They became, I don't know how to say, nobili, like, okay, don't worry. So, that's I have to say about this.
So maybe the budget question, somebody wants to answer in a way. Is there funding? Jana maybe, or Anne is. I guess there is a lot of funding involved. I mean, I know there is a lot of funding involved, but maybe you can just answer briefly about the situation, the financing situation in Germany. The microphone is coming. Just a second.
Yeah, Flavio, you are completely right that you need money to be able to organize all these events, festivals, initiatives, definitely. My experience is that it sounds so, you have to actually work on this at the same time you are having these ideas and thinking about how to implement them or organize them. You have to work on this political level as well. This takes lots of time until you manage to change awareness of short film is not only for young people, it's part of the whole film industry. It's just another format. That's it, actually. Like a series is another format. And lots of people are working in this segment as well, and they are part of the whole industry. So it's also difficult to say that it's it's audience-wise, it's maybe a niche, but I think it's not. In reality, it's not a niche. You just have to think about how to get the people there, because everybody is interested. If you are interested in moving image, then you will be also interested in short film also like in a long film. It's the same. So it's about how to get the people there and prepare the ground politically. So the ones who decide about laws, financing, understand what is all behind, and it's for the good of everybody. It's not a niche, it's not a special group. It's the same with the possibility to have audio description. I think it costs money, but they are also part of the society. It's not good to say it's just for one part of the society we are doing it, and okay, we give a little bit money. I think it's a way of thinking which is going to change, but it will take time, and this is one of the obstacles.
I have a feeling that in Italy it's much more than a feeling. It's how it is. The dimension is like a value for the movies. You can say about painting, it's a big painting, is much value with a little one. In a short film, of a feature, a short film, there is this kind of. You have this kind of feeling in Italy that short film are less value, that have less value, artistic value. That feature film, only about that, because of the dimension of the length. It's something that you cannot apply about any kind of art in Italy. This is make no sense, but it's what it is.
You mean that short films are less worthy than every other piece of art?
Yes, are considered less important artistically. Because they are short. It makes no sense, but it is.
I saw you laughing when we were looking at the picture of the football stadium. So is this one idea maybe that you would like to? It would be easier to adapt in the Italian situation whatsoever. I saw you all laughing, actually.
Well, what do you mean with the stadium? Well, for a big audience, for the short films, I don't know. We are working about to development our audience about short films from last 20 years. My festival. Well, we were a summer festival. It's like it's the only I think. It's one of the strategy in Italy to have more audience, like to have a big event in open air screenings, because short film festivals inside cinema theater during autumn and during winter are a bit different, because for all the reasons that we were talking about, because people are not interested in short films in general, and it's a general problem about cinema in Italy, I think, because we have this problem about audience in general, because outside the big cities, Turin, Milano, Bologna, Roma, all of the rest of the country is like a desert. Because I need to find to watch a movie with subtitles or with from the last festival of Cannes or Locarno. I need to go like 17 kilometers from hometown, and I think this is a problem in general for the cinema audience in Italy. And for the short films, is like a piece of this problem and another problem. The same problem. And in the same time, we are working every year about growing up the audience. about project during the year. We have also a cinema theater, a little cinema in Piacenza, the city, and we have also a project about Concord on tour, like to go into other cities to showing short films. I think many events like this, like to present short films, like a special best of from a festival, it works. It works because every time I remember a lot of people, but a normal screening like to put short films before future films in the cinema, or to do a program in a cinema, or I don't know, online program, they don't work good because I remember experience. And it's because short film is a particular object, a particular thing, particular stuff, and I mean, in Italy it's difficult to put this before a future film because it's not the normality for an Italian audience to watch a short film. In the same time, from my point of view, if my festival is during another part of the year, during a different part, I think it doesn't work the same because we have 300 people every day for 8 days, but just the big main screening and out of competition screening, but just during the night because it's in the middle of August and all the people are on a vacation or working, and we don't have a tradition about industry people going to Italy to other short film festivals just outside Italy for big events, for markets. For Torino Short Film Market is one of the example in Italy, maybe the only one I think big just for short films in this way. And I think it's it's something amazing for me because before Torino Short Film Market we didn't have a discussion about this in Italy. It's like a mission for everyone, for me and for a lot of other festivals. Yes, this is the one that Flavio said about we have too many short films. It's right. Yes, it's true. Short film festival. Sorry. Yes, it's true because in my region, Emilia Romagna, we have a lot of short film festival. Every city from the beginning of this century starts a new project of a short film festival, and every 20 kilometers you have a short film festival. And in the same time, you don't have one big short film festival in Italy. We don't have it. In Germany, there are a lot of big short film festivals, the same in other countries, and we don't have in Italy. We have, we have a big film festival with also short film competition, but it's totally different. I think this is one of the problem, and the second one, and my last is we don't have a program about the cinema program inside school and inside the high school. I mean, is about a historical cinema, about the history of cinema. Just a little piece of a little part of schools doing this, and with the short film is like an obscure, strange object, like a strange thing, like something very, very, totally outside the circuit, outside this world is totally no one knows about this, and I think there are many problems. We need to do a lot about to talk with the political things and with the person who will decide these things, but in the same time it's a long battle and very hard to do because it's like a mission for everyone, and we very, very low budget for everyone, and it's like outside. I think Italy can become a case study about something like how to survive in the short films now in the world. Yes.
Thank you very much. I think there is a long way to go and a lot of work ahead of us here in Italy and everywhere else. I guess it's more or less, no, it's not the same, but it's similar situations everywhere. It's just, we are waiting for the microphone, but yeah, here you go.
No, I just want to add that sometimes people, festival programmers, try to come up with very interesting ideas like, screening at the stadium. Then you go to the director. I know that many directors doesn't want it to be screened in any other place that screening venue, proper screening venue. So, yeah, sometimes it's hard also to make everyone happy.
Reaching out for new audiences is maybe sometimes difficult as well, yes. But yeah, I think it's time to stop now. It's 1:00 and that's where we have to leave the room. So thank you very much for starting this discussion today. Please stay in contact. We have a few events ahead of us and thanks for your attention. Thanks for participating. Thank you.